Strait under fire. One convoy, 6 missiles, global shipping holds its breath. February 1st, 2026, 02:40 a.m. local time. The Bab el-Mandeb Strait, 20 miles wide, 12% of global trade. A commercial convoy pushes through the darkness. 4 tankers, 2 container ships, crude oil worth $180 million, electronics destined for Europe, food supplies for East Africa. U.S. Navy escort USS Carney, Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, full combat readiness. Then the alarm. Radar contact, multiple inbound threats, high speed, low altitude. Anti-ship missiles, 6 of them, launched from Yemen's western coast. Range 43 miles and closing fast. The Sea Doctrine teaches one lesson above all. In narrow waters, there's nowhere to hide. USS Carney goes weapons hot, SM-2 interceptors ready. Phalanx CIWS spins up. The crew has minutes, maybe less. First missile intercept at 17 miles out, clean kill. Second interceptor launches, another hit. Third missile, destroyed at 9 miles. Debris rains into the sea. Fourth intercept successful. The destroyer's systems are performing flawlessly. But Missile 5 breaks through the defensive screen. Then Missile 6 follows. 2 anti-ship missiles screaming toward the convoy at 650 miles per hour. The lead tanker, MT Golden Horizon, registered in Liberia, carrying 80,000 tons of crude from Saudi Arabia. No time for evasive maneuvers, not in these waters. Impact. The first missile strikes midship. Explosion tears through the hull. Fire erupts across 3 decks. The tanker's distress beacon activates automatically. Second missile hits aft section. Secondary explosion in the engine room. Within 90 seconds, the vessel is engulfed. Flames visible for 20 miles. The convoy scatters. Container ships accelerate. Other tankers turn hard to starboard. USS Carney moves to assist. Damage control teams prepare. But the fire is too intense, too much fuel. The crew abandons ship. 23 sailors evacuated, 2 critically injured. 1 strait, 1 attack. Shipping markets freeze overnight. Would you risk sailing through it? This is Sea Doctrine, where sea power decides everything. The tactical picture. Let's break down what just happened at sea. The missiles, likely Iranian-designed Qasef variants. Range 150 kilometers. Warhead 400 kilograms. Guidance, radar and infrared homing. Launched from mobile platforms on Yemen's Tihama coast. Set up, fire, relocate. Classic asymmetric warfare. The attackers knew the convoy schedule. They knew the route. They timed the strike for maximum darkness and minimum warning time. 4 intercepts out of 6. That's a 67% success rate for shipboard defense systems. In any other context, that's excellent performance. But in maritime warfare, 2 missiles getting through is catastrophic. The tanker is now a floating Inferno. 180 million in crude oil burning. Environmental disaster unfolding. Navigation hazard in the world's most critical choke point. Insurance companies receive the alert within minutes. Lloyd's of London convenes an emergency assessment. By 04:00 a.m., war risk premiums spike by 300%. Shipping companies face a choice: pay the premium or reroute around Africa. The Cape of Good Hope adds 14 days and millions in fuel costs. Within 6 hours, 14 vessels reroute. They're not risking Bab el-Mandeb. The strait that carries 6.2 million barrels of oil per day is now a war zone. According to maritime security sources, this wasn't a random strike. This was a message. The strategic pressure. Here's what happens when a choke point becomes a battlefield. The Suez Canal Authority receives threat assessments. Transit delays expected. Some vessels are advised to wait for clearer security conditions. By noon, 11 ships are holding position north of the canal. They're not entering the Red Sea until the situation stabilizes. Egypt loses $400,000 per day in canal fees for every ship that reroutes. That pressure builds fast. European energy markets react immediately. Brent crude jumps $4 per barrel on opening. Natural gas futures rise in sympathy. Traders bet on extended disruptions. Asian manufacturing supply chains calculate delays. Just-in-time delivery models start breaking down. A 2-week reroute isn't just slower, it's a logistical nightmare. The U.S. Fifth Fleet, based in Bahrain, escalates maritime patrols. 2 additional destroyers deploy to the southern Red Sea. A guided missile cruiser moves into position off Djibouti. NATO issues a statement. Attacks on commercial shipping are unacceptable. Freedom of navigation will be maintained. But maintaining it requires presence, warships, escorts, round-the-clock patrols. Who controls this sea? A. U.S. and allies. B. Regional powers. C. No one. The answer changes with every missile launch. This is the reality Sea Doctrine exposes. Sea control isn't declared, it's contested every single day. What happened inside the shipping corridor? But what happened inside the shipping corridor shocked commanders. The MT Golden Horizon wasn't just any tanker. It was part of a specially coordinated convoy, vessels sailing together for mutual protection with military escort. That convoy formation was supposed to provide safety through concentration of defensive assets. It didn't. The attack demonstrated something naval planners have feared. Saturation tactics work against even advanced air defense systems. 6 missiles might not sound like many, but they arrived nearly simultaneously from multiple angles. The destroyer's combat system had to prioritize, track, engage, all within seconds. The 2 missiles that got through exploited a gap in the defensive timeline. They arrived during the reload cycle between interceptor launches. Modern naval warfare moves at computational speed, but physics still matters. Missiles still need time to reach their targets. Interceptors need time to launch and track. Those time gaps, measured in seconds, are where attacks succeed. U.S. naval intelligence immediately begins analysis. How did the attackers achieve such precise timing? Were they tracking the convoy with drones? Did they have inside information on the schedule? Reports indicate possible drone reconnaissance in the area hours before the strike. Small, cheap UAVs that slipped past radar coverage. If confirmed, that changes the threat calculus. It means attackers can surveil, coordinate, and strike with precision using equipment that costs less than a single commercial jet ticket. The asymmetry is staggering. A $180 million tanker, a $2 billion destroyer, threatened by missiles that cost perhaps $100,000 each, launched by forces without a single warship. This is 21st century naval warfare, and it's playing out in real time in the Red Sea. The aftermath and response. 72 hours after the attack, the situation intensifies. The MT Golden Horizon is still burning. Fire suppression efforts continue, but the vessel is a total loss. An oil slick extends 12 miles. Environmental cleanup will cost millions. 3 shipping companies announce indefinite suspension of Red Sea transits. They're rerouting all cargo via the Cape of Good Hope. 17% of Europe-Asia container traffic now faces delays. The United States convenes an emergency meeting of the combined maritime forces. Over 30 nations participate. The discussion, how to secure the Bab el-Mandeb Strait against asymmetric attacks. Options include expanded naval patrols, convoy system modifications, strikes against coastal launch sites, enhanced surveillance networks. Each option has costs. Each carries escalation risks. Meanwhile, Houthi-controlled media claims responsibility. They frame it as defense against aggression. They promise more attacks if conditions aren't met. Iran neither confirms nor denies supplying the missiles, but defense analysts note the sophistication of the attack suggests external support. Saudi Arabia condemns the strike. The UAE offers port facilities for increased naval presence. Egypt calls for international protection of maritime commerce. The great powers position themselves. China proposes a multilateral security framework. Russia offers naval escorts for a price. European Union debates whether to deploy additional frigates. Everyone wants influence over the strait that controls 12% of global trade. Is this the start of a wider naval war? Comment Y or N. The Red Sea Doctrine perspective. This isn't the start. This is the continuation of a conflict that's been building for years. The economics of blockade. Let's talk about what this attack actually costs. Direct losses, 1 tanker, 40 men, cargo, 180 man-hours, salvage operations, 15 man-hours, environmental cleanup, 30 man-hours. Total, $265 million from one strike. Indirect costs, rerouting expenses, insurance premiums, port delays, supply chain disruptions, estimated at $2–3 billion across the global economy over the following month. For context, the entire conflict in Yemen has disrupted an estimated $50 billion in trade since 2015. A single successful attack on a choke point generates economic effects far exceeding its tactical cost. This is strategic leverage. This is why maritime warfare matters more than most people realize. 14 major shipping lines now calculate the math. Is it cheaper to pay higher insurance and risk the Red Sea, or accept longer transit times around Africa? Some choose insurance, some choose distance. The global shipping network fragments. Maersk announces a $200 per container surcharge for any Red Sea routing. MSC follows suit. CMA CGM implements dynamic pricing based on threat assessments. Consumers won't see the immediate impact, but in 6 weeks, prices rise. Electronics, clothing, automotive parts, anything moving from Asia to Europe faces increased costs. The Strait matters because the global economy depends on predictable, affordable shipping. Disrupt that, and everything downstream feels the pressure. According to insurance industry sources, war risk premiums could remain elevated for months. That's sustained economic damage from a single incident. The long game. So where does this go? The U.S. increases its naval presence. More destroyers, more patrols, more escorts. Operational tempo increases. Crew fatigue becomes a factor. Maintenance schedules compress. Regional powers watch and adapt. If convoys have 6 escorts instead of 1, attackers will use 12 missiles instead of 6. The escalation ladder has plenty of rungs left to climb. Trade routes might permanently shift. If insurance costs stay high enough, long enough, the Cape route becomes the new normal. The Suez Canal loses relevance. Egypt loses billions annually. That geopolitical shift would reshape the entire region's economy and influence. Or international forces establish a true no-strike zone. Coastal launch sites get targeted. The conflict expands beyond maritime domain into land operations. That's a different kind of war, one with different rules and risks. The third option, a negotiated settlement. Diplomatic pressure, economic incentives, security guarantees, but negotiations require leverage, and right now, the attackers have plenty of it. What breaks next? Trade, diplomacy, or deterrence? The answer might be all three. The doctrine at work. Red Sea Doctrine exists to decode exactly these situations. When missiles strike at sea, it's never just about the tactical moment, it's about the strategic pressure that builds from that moment. One attack creates ripples, economic, military, diplomatic. Those ripples interact, they amplify, they create new pressures and new responses. Naval warfare in the 21st century isn't about battleship duels, it's about access, denial, and the economic consequences of both. The Bab el-Mandeb Strait is 20 miles wide, but its strategic width extends across the entire global economy. Lose control there, even temporarily, and the world feels it. That's why this matters. That's why we watch these waters. Final assessment. MT Golden Horizon, total loss, crew safe. Bab el-Mandeb Strait, contested, security degraded. Global shipping disrupted, costs rising. Military response escalating, deterrence uncertain. The strike proved what strategists have warned. Modern anti-ship missiles in the right hands can challenge even advanced naval forces. The question now isn't whether the strait is secure. It's how much risk the global economy is willing to accept to keep it open. Will shipping routes permanently change? Will naval powers commit to long-term presence? Who escalates next and how? These aren't hypothetical questions. They're the reality unfolding in the Red Sea right now. This is what happens when missiles, economics, and sea power collide in 20 miles of water. This is what Red Sea Doctrine covers, because understanding maritime conflict means understanding the world that depends on it. Subscribe to Red Sea Doctrine, where sea power decides everything. The next strike could come tomorrow. The next convoy is already in transit. The strait remains open, but at what cost? Stay informed, stay ahead. Red Sea Doctrine, trade routes, missiles, and war.